Hello, it's me, the Discus Jiska. Today, I'm looking at a casual game. Just some game that two friends played together. It's not a league game, it's not that serious, chill out. It's between ShiraSnow and Goddess of the Hollow. Goddess of the Hollow has this problem where her name is too long, and it makes it difficult for me to say. So instead, I'll use the acronym GOTH. Miss Goth, if you could reduce the size of your name so that I don't have to have these teeny little title cards on the right side of my screen over here, I'd appreciate it. These are too tiny. Nobody would be able to read these letters. Anyways, I'm looking at Rivendell again because I've played a game on this map now, and I can tell you that I hate this base. I hate it. This base is impossible to do anything with. You can't move forward because there's these two annoying forests and mountains that I hate, and then if you wanted to defend your HQ with it, you can't do that because there's these annoying mountains that I hate and these annoying forests that I hate. So what's a man to do? If the base might as well just be surrounded by mountains or oceans or something. It's completely inaccessible. What do you even do? I don't know. But I figure that these players are pretty decent. Maybe they know what to do. Let's find out. Or, you know, let's restart the replay viewer. Oh, is it? Oh, it is working. Okay. Just go for the near cap. But I don't know. I shouldn't start complaining right off the bat. This doesn't precisely help the issue either. Moving backwards onto this side of the map is just leaves your base undefended. My cap phase was terrible here, so I should pay attention. Same thing for ShiraSnow. Moving on to the outside. So this is actually a pretty significant difference between the two. So Goth is going for this inside city first. ShiraSnow is going for the outside one. The outside one is a more aggressive or a more defensive option. It puts you further away. It's hard to categorize because it puts you further away from your opponent's base, but it puts you closer to their HQ. See if this pays off for ShiraSnow. This is a safer cap to take later because this is harder for your opponent to get to. I think that Goth's approach is maybe a better one to make earlier when your opponent doesn't have the chance of contesting, because you can get this pretty easily later, and this isn't easy to get later. It's looking kind of similar. Goth going for the airport now, as opposed to going to the inside like ShiraSnow. Okay, I definitely did not do this in my game. I left this uncapped for forever. I had such issues finding a way to get around to this. I think it's because I went forward with my infantry first. So it makes sense why you would want to send your first infantry from the inside base to go for this. To go from here to here. And then it'll probably take the port, because there's not a good way to get to this port either without taking this. Okay, so Goth is going to have, so that means that Goth's going to go here with infantry that's taking the the city that's sandwiched here. The first tank comes out for Goth, and it's on the outside. I guess I can classify this as the aggressive side and this is the defensive side, but it doesn't feel like either is both that defensive. I'm curious to see if this will be sent on the inside or the outside. It's gotta be the inside, because there's nothing over here for ShiraSnow yet. This is also a different play than the one that Goth made. And I think that this is... I don't know what this infantry is going to be doing. But if this infantry was going to be taking this port, then it would have been better to move it straight south. This might have just been a misplay. I assume that they're playing on this map because they're trying to figure out what's going on. Yeah, this was just a misplay. This should have moved straight back and then onto this port the next turn, but it just didn't happen that way. That's acceptable. Better to make it in this casual game than it is in League. We all learned something from it. Okay. So, ShiraSnow has a tank on the outside base. And Goth has moved this tank onto this neutral city. It's not been taken over yet. But this doesn't feel good because there's nothing here to support it, and there's nothing it can get here to support it. She does build this tank here, but this tank will not be able to come to this tank's rescue at all. This tank is designed to impede this one. It's also interesting that this is a infantry and not an artillery. It feels like artillery is really good on this map. It feels like there's a lot of easy ways to position it, that it can stop caps and help out tanks, but I suppose it would have been maybe a little bit late in this instance anyways. ShiraSnow not interested in trying to get the first strike on this. So maybe Lash thinks. Maybe Lash's counterattack is too strong. Yeah, Lash's counterattack is too strong. If this was a regular CO, then it wouldn't be that bad. If this was Kindle, it would be worse. Yeah, it's not worth the risk. But that's our girl. She's able to stop this city from being in danger. And this is a much more precarious situation for this tank because it's about to be sandwiched between two tanks. But then again, I suppose this tank is about to be sandwiched between two tanks too. But a double tank sandwich. Might have a triple tank sandwich with this one. This one moves out here. This one moves up here. And I have a triple tank sandwich. So this looks weird. This looks really weird. Goth drives this tank all the way around to the other side of the tank that is parked on this forest and goes for a similarly bad attack to the one that ShiraSnow just refused. But I think there's a specific reason, and that is because this tank is not in danger of being hit by the one from the outside base now, and this tank that is safe from attack this turn can counterattack if ShiraSnow opts to fight back here. And fighting back may not be quite worth it. Okay, yeah, these numbers looked wrong. Yeah, these numbers look a lot better. Yeah, it won't kill. So here's the artillery. The artillery is coming out, and this tank makes makes a lot of sense. I don't know what is. I think that it's going to go back to defending this outside section. So these tanks are preparing the defense to strike back on this, and that might make this counterattack untenable. ShiraSnow not opting for an artillery, says more tanks please. So Goth just backs up, leaves the 5 HP tank as it is going somewhere with this T-Copter. I don't really know where. It seemed like the obvious place to go would be to the comm tower, but that's not the case. Get positioning to take this city that's right here. Okay, so this 5 HP tank is going to start healing up. I think that this tank is likely to be parked here, defended by the infantry. B-Copter for ShiraSnow. B-Copter seems super good on this map because there's just no way, like, this airport is so far away from this base, and that's all well and good, but this base, when you produce a anti-air from it, you can't take it anywhere because of these obnoxious geographical formations. You can't take it anywhere. Okay, look, there's these mountains and these forests, and they all suck, and I hate them. T-Copter running defense for the artillery. That's an interesting idea. Oh, and ShiraSnow has also got an artillery, so it's starting to be an artillery battle. They're tied in most regards. So it's got a decent range of protection from here. You can see that this mountain and this ocean prevent it from moving too far back to defend in this corner, which was a little obnoxious, but curious about, well, yeah, okay, this makes sense. I was gonna say that I would think that keeping this infantry here is, actually, I do think that keeping this infantry here would have been better. Because you would force something to attack it within range of the artillery if the infantry wants to step on it, because the infantry can't shoot and step on it. So forcing either this tank or this tank to shoot it from one of these weird angles means that they'd be in range of this artillery, which I think is a lot more important than keeping this infantry alive. I don't think that this infantry at 3 is going to get like healed up, or the 300 gold that you'll get from combining it or from joining it is all that significant. Maybe there's something I don't know. Maybe it's... No, I can't think of a reason why. Curious. What I said, I guess, doesn't mean a whole lot in the context of backing off just entirely. Just looking at this bridge. This is curious. Goth's got a really massive funds lead, actually. Owning this space is a big deal. ShiraSnow's going to get it back, which is good. But they're also going to pay for that, which is not good. ShiraSnow not owning this is not as big of a deal. And in the center of the map, I think that Goth shouldn't be able to own both of these. So this is going to go to 1821, 1921. That would be 2020. So yeah. Owning both of these is a really, really big discrepancy in their incomes. If either player owns both of them, then that player is seemingly going to win. There's not a lot of other configurations where you could gain a funds lead like that. It's going to be decided by those two properties mostly. I'm going to think about when you are making a cap phase. Okay, so ShiraSnow is going in on this left side. Ooh, and that is a really big attack on that anti-air. There's not going to be another this is the issue, is it like, okay. So, what was the large line of infantry here, and his copper being able to get around here. And Lash terrain bonus here, just making a big deal. Okay, so this is still a respectable hit. This isn't good. This is not good. I suppose that this medium tank makes it that much better, but it's not a situation I want. Just barely too open over here. Okay. 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 So this is pretty powerful. This totally has a shot onto this base now. These infantry are in a position where they can start really exacerbating the difference in funding. Another medium tank, yeah, okay. And that looked really good for ShiraSnow on that attack. I really thought that was like going to be a deciding factor. So the question I have is, how did Goth get the money for? Well, not so much how did Goth get the money for the medium tank. That's obvious from controlling both these properties. You'll save up for it eventually. But ShiraSnow. ShiraSnow immediately answered back, which was really, really strong. So what was the build this turn? Or the build last turn? Just having saved up and then just buying 2 tanks. Having healed up units enough that the next turn you start with 23,000. And you have enough for, you know, I guess just understanding when your opponent is going to go for it is a big deal. And even with a very, very low HP anti-air, Goth was able to mitigate the effectiveness of this battle copter. So that's hopeful that you don't have to get like, it's okay if your battle copter or if your anti-air gets damaged. Once the battle copter gets hit really hard by a single attack, that limits how effective it can be in stopping what you're trying to do with it. Seeing the cap phase where the first infantry moves down, that's enlightening. That's going to help me out quite a bit. I think that getting these 2 properties is really hard if you don't do it early on. It feels really bad. Fighting early around these 2 properties in the center also seems really important. So that's another consideration to make. And then the third thing would be looking for wraparound plays on the very edge of the map. That's when it looked best for ShiraSnow, and that's also how Goth was able to make these weird aggressive artillery plays that ended up winning her the game. So really cool replay to look at. I feel like this was really enlightening and helped me a lot. I hope that I can transition it to actual results, but that remains to be seen. Oh, also, neither player went for their command tower at all. I'm not sure about that. Seems like, especially since Goth built the T-copter, that might as well have done that. Might as well. Might as well. But, yep, that's all for this analysis. Make sure to subscribe once I get to 100 subscribers. Doing an open entry tournament for the community with cash prizes. More info on that when I get closer to that goal. Really appreciate everybody watching and helping me out in that way. Really want that shortened URL channel name to send to all of my friends. It'll look really nice. The one that I've got now is tremendously ugly, so it needs to be corrected. Really appreciate you guys' help in doing that. Thank you for watching. Good luck. I'll see you next time.